Okay, I believe we are live. I didn't hear the bell, but I think we are broadcasting live. So let me say hello to everyone. Hello, everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Learning from Pictures series. This is a class where you learn from pictures. That's why I called it Learning from Pictures. What I mean is, we're going to describe real pictures from all around the world and the internet. But we're going to use different levels of description each time, and I'll be here to provide you feedback for the descriptions that you give. Each one of these pictures are real, and there is no photoshopping. You'd be surprised at what you see. So I'll go over exactly how to do that in just a moment. But first, a little bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. By the way, if you click on the follow button, I should say, if you click on the link in the Verbling chat window, it'll take you to this page that you see, my profile page. On the left side, you can follow me to see my upcoming classes. And on the right side, you can book a private tutoring lesson. I will work with you creating a personalized learning plan, something that we can't do in the group classes, and I will personalize the classes to your goals. So if you're interested, send me a message, we'll find time, and we will get started on that. But let's take a look at the material for today. So, what's going on in this picture? In previous classes, we've looked at different pictures from around the world, some happening now, some are more historical. Today we're going to go with the more historical variety, and I'm going to just give you a super quick overview of how we're going to go about actually describing these. As I said, we'll do it in different levels of detail. So I usually go for 4 different levels. I start with what you can see, so we'll call this level 1 in the chat window, what you can see. The next person will go on to a deeper level, 2, which is what is happening. So then you take what you see and try to figure out what's really going on. In the 3rd level, we might apply some of that language to a different situation, such as I usually ask what caption would appear if you saw this in a newspaper. But we could imagine different kinds of situations or contexts. And when we get to level 4, we've got a lot of things we can do. We can give opinions, personal opinions. We can make a judgment that's like an opinion, but it's maybe a little bit stronger about wrong and right. There's other things we can do. We can go further and come to some kind of a conclusion based on the picture. What we think will happen later. What will happen next. Okay? So in this way, we're going to get to different levels of description. And in fact, I'll even give you a question to think about in the beginning, and then I'll ask you in the next picture if you're to ask questions to each other. So let's get started. Oh, let me just say hello to everyone. Make sure your microphones are working. So first I see Mr. Alexandra. Welcome back. Good morning, Alexandra. How are you?
Good morning, teacher. How are you?
Very good. Nice to see you. And then we've got... Very good, very good. Next person I saw was Mr. Victor Carvalho. Hello, Victor. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
Very good. Is this your first time with us, Victor?
Yes, my first class room, my first day in website too.
Okay, excellent. And you're from where? Brazil?
Yes, I'm from Brazil.
Okay, great to have you with us, Victor. And let's see. And then I see Napoleon. Mr. Napo, how are you today?
Fine, thank you, teacher. Good morning, my country.
Nice to see you again. You're from Brazil too, aren't you? I can't remember. Where are you from, Napo? I can't remember. Remind me.
Teacher, Costa Rica.
Oh, Costa Rica. Okay, got it, got it. All right, because I remember you from last week, but I forgot where you were from. Okay, nice to have you back. Mr. David Vilches, nice to see you. How are you?
Fine, thanks, John.
Excellent, good. And Mr. Dennis. Hello, Dennis. How are you? Where are you? I don't see you. Wait, did Dennis leave? Where's Dennis? There he is. Ah, there you are. Hello, Dennis. How are you? Dennis, we cannot hear you. So maybe no, it's so quiet. I can't really hear you. Maybe try to leave the Hangout and rejoin us. See if that fixes the microphone problem. Because right now I can't hear anything at all. Just a little tiny voice. Okay? So see if you can maybe rejoin the Hangout and that might fix the problem. Mr. Jose, how are you today?
Hello, John.
Good morning.
Guten Bibeta.
And look who's here. Look who's here, Jose. It's your compatriot from Valencia, Ms. Carmen. Hello, Carmen. How are you?
Hello, John. How are you?
I think you and Jose live in the same place, don't you?
Do you live in Valencia too?
Yes, I live in Valencia.
Okay then. Me too.
He's your neighbor. Didn't you notice? He's the guy living across the street from you?
Yeah, the boy next door.
Right. That creepy guy next
Yeah,
door.
it's a bit creepy, yeah.
Just kidding, Jose. I can't say anything bad because he lives near you. He can find you before he can find me.
Yeah.
Oh, and look, there's Mr. Giancarlo. Hello, Giancarlo. How are you?
Fine, thank you, John. Good morning.
Okay. Okay, so Dennis, are you working on your microphone? Oh, Dennis, we still cannot hear you. Dennis, maybe you should leave the Hangout, come back in, rejoin, and see if that fixes the problem. Okay? Okay, very good. So, here we go. The first question, now pay attention to the questions because you're going to be asking similar questions to each other in the second round. But in the first round, I'll ask you the questions directly and I'll provide you feedback. So here we go. What's going on in this picture? Oh, this is number 1. Mr. Alexandra, what can you see in this picture? Using the vocabulary that you have, describe what you see.
I can see a man making a movie, maybe about Second War, I guess, and I can see some people on the beds, and I guess it's a movie about Second War. Yeah, it's my opinion.
Okay, great. Yes, it's a movie about Second War. Excellent. Okay, take a look at what you said, and I'm going to do a quick revision. Instead of saying I can see, in English we just say I see. Oh, and sorry, I don't have any links to this because I don't want anyone looking ahead. But at the end of the class, I'll post a link and you can review the pictures. And there's also links in the picture to the original source as well. So Alexandra, instead of I can see, it's I see a man making a movie. Don't forget the article. Maybe it's about the Second World War. Not Second War, Second World War. Follow so far? I'm
Okay.
I'm going to write this for you.
Yeah.
Then you said, I can see some people. I see, not I can see. I see people on beds. Not the beds, because you don't need to be so specific. Those beds there. You can say it in general. I see people in beds. I guess it's a movie about. I guess it's this movie about the Second World War. How about? I guess it's a war movie. I guess it's a war movie. So take a look at some of those corrections, Alessandra. In fact,
Okay.
why don't you read it back to me one time? Let's hear how it sounds.
Can
Look
you
at the
repeat, please?
look at the chat window
Okay.
and read it back to me, and let's hear how it sounds with the corrections.
Okay. I see a man making a movie. Maybe it's about Second World War.
Oh, it should see. Sorry, maybe it's about the Second World War. Sorry, it's a mistake. The Second World War.
Maybe it's about the Second World War. I see some people on beds. I guess it's a war movie. Oh, it's a World War movie, yeah.
War movie, right.
Yeah.
So instead of saying a movie about, a movie about, a movie about, you could use an adjective. A war movie.
War
Or a
movie.
Second World War movie. Or something like that.
It's more simple, yeah.
Exactly, right.
Yeah, I'm trying to difficult things.
Simplify.
Yeah.
Okay,
First,
excellent.
First rule.
So remember the technique. You're going to copy the original and my revision to your notes. And then you're going to test yourself later. Read the
Okay.
original tomorrow. Try to remember how we simplified it, and then look at the corrections. Okay, so that's a super easy way to get these new words and corrections into your memory. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, excellent job. Now, remember, the second level of description is about... Oh, we lost Dennis again. I was just about to ask him if everything was okay. The second level is about what's really happening. So, Carmen, now that we know a few details, maybe you could add a few more details, because Alessandro did mention everything in the picture. Maybe there's some good vocabulary there that we've missed. But I'd like you to then speculate about what's really going on. And before you begin, let me just see if Dennis got his microphone fixed. Dennis, how's it going now? Oh, Dennis, we cannot hear you. Oh my God. Well, Dennis, when it's your time to talk, I'll make sure everyone has their microphone off, and maybe I'll be able to hear you. But you're really, really, really quiet. Okay? So just stay in the hangout, and we'll deal with it later. Okay. So Carmen, your question is, what's really happening in this picture? What's really happening?
Well, I think the man is making a movie about families, and there are two different scenes. First one on the first one on the top. There's a family. There's the father, the mother, and the child, and they are on bed. And that's one. That would be just one scene. And on the bottom, I can see two different beds with two girls, and I guess it's the same show but different scenes. I don't know.
Okay, very good. What other objects can you name in that picture that Alessandra didn't name? See if there's any other vocabulary that we missed.
Yeah, that's some blankets.
There's some blankets. Good.
Worry. What's quite strange is that the scene on the top. I think the man is dressed in a suit. I'm not quite
Yes.
sure about it, but he's not on his pajamas, so
Right. What does that tell you?
kind of weird.
Kind of weird. That's a big clue as to what's really going on in the picture, by the way.
Ah, okay.
Okay, very good. So this is what you. I didn't write down everything that you said because you speak way too fast for me to write. But I do want to point out two different scenes. I know what you mean. Two different scenes of the movie. Maybe what you want to say though is two different sets.
Okay then, yeah.
Only because if they're going to film in two places, each of those places might be called a set. Actually, there's only one set, so maybe you're right at the beginning. But I want to point out that vocabulary word, film and TV. They do the actual. I shouldn't say the word filming because no one uses film anymore, but they do the actual. What can we say besides filming? I can't think of another word. They do the actual production on a set. And a set, right, is like an artificial location. It's a location where they put artificial things.
Okay.
Okay. And you said that they are on bed, but you
No,
meant to say
in bed.
Right. Okay. So they are in bed. I'll just put that there. I guess it's the same show but different scenes. That was good because of the speculative language. Besides, I guess. So I guess. I suppose. It may be. It might be. It could be. Okay, so these are all examples of speculative language that we can use when we're guessing. And the last thing you said was, well, you said blankets, but let's see if Mr. David has some other suggestions before I tell you what's really going on. David, what are some things that have not been mentioned so far?
Camera.
Okay, there you go. What kind of camera?
What?
What kind of camera? I didn't hear the first word.
I only say camera.
Ah, okay. So how about a movie camera?
Ah, okay.
Excellent, a movie camera. What else do you see? Yeah, let's talk about that equipment. What else do you see? Like specifically, what else do we find on a movie set or a television set that you can name? You got the camera.
Yes.
You got the dude behind the camera. Who's he? What's he?
Yes. I don't know the camera. I don't know what. How do you say?
Make an educated guess.
Yeah. Camera? I don't know.
I know, but make an educated guess. If you're wrong, I'll be happy to correct you. Camera what?
Camera handle. I don't know.
Camera handle? Okay. What is behind the camera? Look at that equipment that's in the foreground of the picture.
Yes.
What are those things?
There are lights.
They are lights, exactly.
Yes.
Lights. Good. We call those things lights. Just like if you have light in your room that you turn on and off with a light switch. Okay, great. Anything else we might want to notice about this set or this movie?
I think people are inside a bunker.
Ah, excellent word. They're inside a bunker or a shelter. Yeah. Inside of a bunker or a shelter. In fact, we might call this a fallout shelter. Because
there are a lot of wires on the floor.
not wires, but cables.
Cables, okay.
They're not wires because wires are inside the walls of the house. These are outside and they're a little bit thicker and they're not really for electricity. They're for sound or something like that. They might be for electricity. But anyway, when they're big and they're outside the walls of your house, when they're connected to objects and mechanisms, they're cables. Okay, great. So you added some vocabulary. Movie camera, not camera handler, but camera operator.
Okay.
Operator. Or we typically say cameraman, although it could be a camera woman. So camera person. Anyway, so camera operator is a more neutral word. And then we've got lights, cables, and it's a bunker shelter or fallout shelter. Fallout shelter was for bombs. If there was a bomb going off, you would go to the fallout shelter, because after a bomb explodes, there is fallout. That is what happens after a bomb. Fallout is when the debris rains down on your head and you want to get out of the way. Especially nuclear fallout, where it's radiation. So that could be a fallout shelter. Maybe that's why the guy is wearing a suit. Because he didn't have time to change his clothes. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, very good, very good. Let me see. Well, let's find out what's really going on in the picture. So, Mr. David, can you read the caption for us?
Yeah. 1940 actors are recorded for a film about Anderson Shelter.
About Anderson Shelters, exactly. And what do you think Anderson Shelters are? David or Class? So what kind of film is this? Is this a war movie?
I don't know. I don't know.
Now that you know the caption, does it change your opinion about what you're seeing? Is what I'm really asking.
I think by the date and the shelter, yes, it could be a war movie. I don't know.
Except that it says Anderson Shelters. That's a very particular name.
Yes.
Anderson Shelters. So what I want to do is let's see what an Anderson Shelter really is. You won't believe it, actually. Let's take a look. Tell me if you can see this, okay? It'll take a second to load. Tell me if you can see this. Give me a second. Oh my goodness, this is really slow. There we go. Okay, now you can see what an Anderson Shelter is. And here is a great picture. Here's a great picture of a family going into an Anderson Shelter. Can you see that?
Yes.
So, class, does that change your mind a little bit about what an Anderson about what's going on in the picture? What do you think now that you can see this? Is it a war movie?
Yes, I think it is a war movie.
Really? I don't think so.
No? Why not?
Because I think it's an advertisement to sell this product, Anderson Shelters. I think it's an ad. Because look
What do you
how,
need to buy? But those shelters are the shelters that were constructed to avoid the blitz. I mean, to avoid all the raiding and.
I know, but probably you got sent a kit, and then you would dig a hole and use the kit to create the shelter.
Yeah, and made it yourself. It's a made it yourself kit for shelters.
Exactly. And maybe it was like Avon in the 1940s. You know, you could go door to door and sell them to your friends and make a little commission. I don't know. I'm not an expert on Anderson Shelters, but look how happy, look how well dressed they are. They've got their little lunch boxes, and they all go into their Anderson Shelter. Is that nice? And you can see here what it actually consisted of. It was a two-story, like a little two-story shelter. So I think that this was a kit that you would buy. So in the old days, there was no television. You go to your weekly movie, spend your afternoon, Saturdays, watching your movies. There would be a newsreel in the movies, and the newsreel would have advertisements, and this is probably one of the advertisements. That's what I'm guessing. So the early 40s, something like that. And there you go. That's Anderson Shelters. Wow. Wow. Your mind blown yet? Should be. Okay. And I think that's it for Anderson Shelters. Let's go on to picture number 2. Picture number 2, we're going to start with you, Giancarlo. Picture number 2 is this one. And I've got more than one angle here. Giancarlo, tell me what you see.
There are two guys holding a big rifle or something similar to a rifle. The second guy is trying to shoot, or he's trying to check the way he may shoot this big rifle. The second one is holding it. Both are wearing hats and suits. They are on the street, and maybe the picture is from 1930, 1940.
1930 or 40. Excellent. So this is what you said. I might have made a few typos, by the way, so I hope I didn't. But let me just give you a suggestion. There are two guys holding a big rifle, or something similar. Should we say guys here? What do you think? Because they don't look like a bunch of dudes that I know. They got silly little hats. Look at their silly little hats. These aren't guys. These aren't dudes. These are... What's another word we could use?
Men.
Okay, they're men. Guys are so informal, it sounds like you're talking about your friends. Hey guys, come on over to my place. Let's have a party, guys. So maybe guys doesn't fit here just because it's kind of informal. So there are two men holding a big rifle. Yeah, it's a rifle, not just a gun. Specifically, it's a rifle. The second man is trying to shoot, or he's trying to check the way he might shoot. Let's fix that. He's trying to... What's another way to say check the way? He's trying to do what? What do you call it when you look through the gun? He's trying to... Anyone know? Help him out if you know. Aim, right. He's trying to aim or set his aim. That's right. Both are wearing hats. I'm going to add the word silly because I think they're silly. You might not think they're silly. You might wear these hats yourself, but I don't. So I'm going to call them silly hats. Now, I don't know what to call them. There's a name for that kind of hat. I can't remember what it's called. There is a name for that kind of hat. And suits. And maybe it's... Okay. Instead of saying, and maybe it's the 1930s or 40s, Giancarlo, why don't we say wearing old-fashioned suits and hats, old-fashioned suits and hats, which suggests, why don't we say it like that, which suggests that it's from the 1930s S or 40s S, like this. Another way, instead of saying maybe or perhaps, another suggestion is which suggests, which shows, which implies, which brings to mind, which evokes. Some other word using a subclause with which, what we call a relative clause, which is an adjective clause. Okay, very good. Why don't you read that back to me once? Let me know if everything is clear.
Yes. There are two men holding a big rifle or something similar. The second man is trying to shoot, or he's trying to aim or set his aim. Both are wearing old-fashioned hats and suits, which suggests that it's from 1930s or 1940s. Here, John, the interesting word for me is, well, everything is interesting because the composition is it's good. I like it. But aim, How to
Aim.
use aim? I've never heard this word before. Aim, to aim.
To aim. So that is used as a verb. The man on the left is aiming the gun because he's looking through a little notch. By the way, these are some good vocabulary words. He's looking through. Normally, a gun has a scope, which is like a telescope. But he's looking through a little notch, which allows him to align the gun to shoot the target. So aiming as a verb is aligning the target, the gun with the target, aligning the gun with the target. So he's aiming the gun. He's aligning it. How do I spell? Why am I spelling align wrong? Sorry, give me just a second to get a line right.
Yes.
So aiming is aligning the gun. In this case, it's a gun. Aligning the gun to hit a target. Lining it up so it fires straight. Okay, so you can aim a gun, or you can aim for any kind of a goal. I'm aiming for perfect English by December, for example. So you can have your own personal targets and use aim in a metaphorical way. What do you think? Clear? Not clear? Sort
Yeah,
of
it's
clear? Yeah?
Yes,
So
and
think,
aim always with for. Aim for.
you can aim for, the preposition, well, adverb in this case is for. Think about something that you could aim for personally. Can you think of something?
My camera, for example.
Okay, that wouldn't be aim for, that would just be aim.
Aim.
Right? So aim for is metaphorical, aim is literal. You use the camera and aim in a sentence. Let's hear it.
Yesterday night, I was taking some pictures, and it was difficult to aim
the camera. Because it was dark, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. That's it. I couldn't aim the camera in the right direction because it was too dark to see clearly. Okay, something like that. Okay, fantastic. Excellent. Okay.
Yes.
Everyone, turn off your microphones for just a second. Everyone, turn off your microphone. David, Napoleon, Napo, turn off your microphones. Turn off your microphone for a second, please. Or I'll do it for you. Oh, there you go. Okay. Dennis, turn on your microphone. Dennis? Hello?
Hello.
Ah, now we can hear you perfectly. Excellent, excellent. Mr. Dennis, you know what? In this round, I was supposed to get you to ask each other questions. Napo, I'm just going to ask you to turn off your microphone for just a minute because we're getting some feedback, some noise on your side, okay? So please turn it off until you're ready to speak, and you'll be up next, okay? So Dennis, my question is, what's happening for real? Use some of the vocabulary that you learned with Giancarlo and use that to describe what's happening for real in this picture. We don't know. You have to guess, of course. What's happening for real, Dennis?
This picture, one man.
It's a little hard to hear you.
You hear me?
You're very, very quiet. I can hear you. Try to speak loud. It's hard to hear you. So what I want to know is, what's the real situation going on? Use as much of the vocabulary as you can that we saw before to talk about what you think is really. I've never seen anyone with a gun like that. I don't know if you have, but I never have. So what do you think is the real situation?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, I know. I don't know either, but we can guess. What do you think the gun is for, Dennis? what is a gun that big meant for? What do you think it's used for?
Mm, use for shot.
Used for shooting? Shooting what? It's a big gun. So what do you think it's used? Used for shooting what kind of thing, Dennis? What do you think?
He is shooting in target.
Any target? Anything? Yeah?
Yes. Any
Wow. I don't think I agree with you. To me, that is used for a very specific target. It's so big. Imagine you try to shoot a normal target with it. It would destroy it. What do you think, Napo? What kind of target do you think is used, that kind of gun is used for? Turn your microphone back on now, Napo.
Hello.
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 So Dennis said that is a gun for shooting any kind of target. Do you agree? Or
Yes.
do you think there's a very specific target for a gun that big? What kind of target do you think that gun was created to shoot?
I think it's more specific.
Like what?
Enemy.
Ah,
Uh,
so
he watch. He's watching enemy.
it's used for shooting an enemy. That gun, yeah?
Yeah.
Used for shooting an enemy. Or you could say an enemy target. Okay, maybe it is. Wow. I hope not.
Exactly.
It seems a little too big to be for people.
Yeah, I think the picture is one way protection. I don't know.
I didn't catch the last part. One way to
Okay.
do what?
I think the picture is one way of
One way of shooting, one way of what? We need a verb. One way of doing what?
no, I don't know.
Okay, well, let me give you a suggestion. It's one way of, for example, shooting, because we need a verb after one way of. One way of, so we're going to take our verb, use it in the ing form, one way of shooting an enemy, as you said, enemy, before there were rockets and grenades. Maybe this was a gun used before modern warfare. So you got rockets and grenades today, but maybe back then they used that. I don't know. Could be. Do you know what a grenade is, by the way? Do you know what I mean by grenade? Napo, do you know what a grenade is?
Yes.
This thing here. Look.
Okay.
So maybe before there were grenades, there were those kind of guns. Maybe. I don't know. Just an
Okay.
idea. Just an idea.
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So that was what's really going on. Mr. Jose, I want you to write a caption for this picture. If it
A caption?
appeared in a
Yes.
caption, if it was
Okay.
in a newspaper, what do you
It's
think it would
clear.
say?
Next weekend is going to take place a spectacular arms exhibition.
Oh, spectacular, spectacular arms. Instead of exhibition, well, exhibition is okay. Exhibition. Or we could just say show. Next,
So, okay.
next week, a spectacular arms exhibition will take place in Valencia. Right?
Yes.
There you go. Very good, very good. Well, Jose, let's find out. I'm going to show you one more picture. Can you see another picture of the gun? Look at what's in his right. Look at what's in his left hand and compare that to what's in his right hand. What do you think? So, class, now that you can see a second picture, does that change your opinion at all about what's going on?
I see a person who is hanging to
What they're called? Two rifles.
Two rifles.
Right.
The rifle who is hanging on his right arm is bigger than the rifle who is hanging on his left arm.
Not hanging, but
left
holding.
arm, holding.
So, let's be clear about this.
Left arm.
The rifle in his right hand, not arm, hand. He's holding it with his hand. The rifle in his left hand is bigger than the rifle in his right hand. Well, that's true.
Yes.
Bigger. Can anyone think of a better word than bigger? It's not just bigger. What's bigger than
Large, long.
Large, long. Any other suggestions?
Huge.
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 What's bigger than huge?
What's bigger than huge?
Yeah.
Colossal? I don't know.
Colossal. Now we're getting somewhere. Colossal. Humongous. Colossal. Humongous. Anything else come to mind, class? Any of you? Humongous. Colossal.
John, please, can you write down the second one you said? Because I don't know what it is. Is it colossal and the other one?
Humongous, colossal, gigantic. Three words that come to my mind. Humongous.
Never heard that word before. Humongous.
See?
Okay.
That's
now
why
I know.
you're here.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
So, Carmen, use that word in a sentence comparing the two rifles, if you could.
Someone said something.
That was Yasser. Hello, Yasser. How are you?
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Very good. Very good. We're good.
Sorry.
We're going to be describing a new picture in just a second, and I will call on you in the next picture. Okay? So, Carmen, I'd like you to use that new vocabulary word, if you could, comparing the two rifles.
Okay, the rifle on the left is humongous compared to the rifle on the right.
Is humongous? Wait, you're missing a word because it's comparative, so it is
more.
Oh, well, actually, I see what you mean. Oh, I see what you're doing. Because humongous is already the maximum big.
That's it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's humongous compared. No, you were right the first time.
It's like it was a superlative.
Yeah, it's like a superlative, except that it can't be superlative because it already is the maximum. But what you could say You could use an adverb, though. It is absolutely
Absolutely.
humongous.
Humongous. Mm-hmm.
Ridiculously
Humongous.
colossal or colossal. Absurdly gigantic. Right? So you could use all of those to modify this this adjective. But you're right. It would sound weird to say more colossal. It's not more colossal. It's colossal. Okay. And Carmen, can you read the caption for us?
July 1923, the pant gun was intended to kill large number of waterfowl as efficiently as possible.
Records
exist of more than 90 birds being killed at once when the guns were used in the 19th and early 20th centuries.
So does that change your opinion about what you're seeing?
So what it's supposed to do is supposed to kill large birds?
Waterfowl, whatever waterfowl are, birds that you would typically hunt.
Fowl, but fowl is a kind of bird, and water means those birds in the water.
It's a kind of bird, and it's a kind of bird that I suppose, they would hunt for sport. In fact, let me tell you what's really going on in the picture, for real.
But it says pant. When it says pant, it's a fake one.
No. Punt is a boat. It's a kind of a boat.
Ah, okay.
Right? So a punt is like kind of like a rowboat, but you would go hunting in it. In fact, I'm going to give you a little story, short one. Here it is. This is the text that actually goes along with the picture. This is from 1910, by the way. 1910, roughly. Designed to be fired from a punt, which is a small boat, like a rowboat. Punt guns were intended to kill a large number of waterfowl as efficiently as possible. You could kill up to 90 at once. The diameter of the gun, that's how wide it is, the diameter of the gun typically exceeded 2 inches. So that's like, what, I don't know, 4 centimeters, something like that. Each firing would dispense more than a pound. Like what? I'm very bad with pounds and kilos. How many kilos in a pound, or vice versa? I never know. Is it 2 kilos in a pound, or 2 pounds in a kilo? I can't remember which is which. I'm very bad with metric system. Anyway, 2 pounds of shot across the water. That's a lot. That's like.
I mean, you can kill just in one shot 90 birds. You can
kill an entire flock of birds. That's right.
Okay.
You can kill them all. Punt guns were primarily used for sport or to harvest large numbers of birds on hunting estates. The gun was fixed to the punt. That means it was attached to the boat, and the hunter would silently direct the boat and the gun across the water to aim the position. So to shoot the gun, you had to row the boat in the right position. It wasn't normally held like this. This is like a demonstration. That's what we used to do over 100 years ago. Wow. What do you think? Weird, huh? It kind of takes the sport out of hunting, doesn't it? Like, isn't the sport that you're supposed to be so good at firing the gun that you can shoot the bird in the air? It seems a little unfair that you could just kill you can kill an entire species of bird with one shot. Wow. Jeez. Anyway, good thing we're not birds. Well, we might be if an asteroid hits us. Who knows? Anyway, I've got one more for you. This time we're going to go to Mr. Vitor and Yasser. So, Mr. Vitor, here is picture number 3. Tell me, what do you see? With the vocabulary that you have, describe what you see, Vitor.
I find a horse and a woman, and I look the water,
A horse, a woman, and the what? The water, you said?
Yes.
Ah, water. Okay, good. Anything else? What else can you describe?
Moment.
And what do you see on the right side of the screen? What is that?
I don't understand.
What do you see on the right side? Lado direito. On the right side.
Ah.
Yes, sir. Can I just mute your microphone for just a minute, please? Because we're getting lots and lots of noise. So I'm going to mute your microphone for just a second. Yes, sir. And then you can turn it back on when you're ready to speak. Okay, I'm sorry, Victor. What is that?
I look the sky, the blue sky. More. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, very good. So look,
Nice.
you said I see a horse, a woman, and water. Well, Victor, let me make a correction. Let me give you some other words. Okay?
Okay.
I see a horse diving. Diving. I don't know what it's diving into. A woman rider or jockey. A person who rides the horse is a jockey. And I see a horse diving, a woman rider on it, and the sea or ocean behind them. Take a look at my correction.
Okay, ocean behind.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Do you understand all the words?
Yes.
How do you say behind in Portuguese? How would you how would you translate the word behind?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
I don't know. I understand.
Qual é a tradução do behind em português?
Atrás.
Atrás. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure it was clear, right? O mar atrás, right? The sea behind them, the ocean behind them. Okay, very good. So now we've got new words: diving, a woman rider or jockey, because she is on the horse. Mr. Yasser, tell me,
teacher.
what do you think is really happening in that picture?
I really have maybe that when you diving that horse in swimming in the water,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and but also that some maybe that woman that fry
Sorry, maybe the woman got
fry.
frightened, you said?
Yeah, that's the the head down.
Mm-hmm. So maybe the woman,
Yeah,
maybe the woman
yeah,
is frightened. Yeah,
right.
I think I would be pretty frightened myself. Maybe the woman is frightened.
Yeah.
Maybe the horse is frightened. I don't know. The horse looks okay. The
No,
horse looks pretty confident.
when you see now the picture, the horse is right. It doesn't right.
It doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me show you another picture, which is similar. Give me just a second here, because I don't want to give away the answer just yet. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Take a look at this. Now you can see another angle. Does that change your opinion of the situation? What do you think is going on now? Now you can see it from another angle, and you can see, what is the horse diving into? This is for all of you, class. What's the horse diving into?
I don't know that. Maybe this race. This one I don't know. Maybe race.
In a swimming pool.
He's diving into a pool, right? A pool or swimming pool. I'm not going to say swimming pool because maybe it's not for people having recreation, but I will say a pool, absolutely. The horse is diving into a pool.
For a crazy horse and a crazy woman.
A crazy horse and a crazy woman, or maybe a crazy show. maybe it's a normal horse and a crazy show. I don't know. How would you describe, class? How would you describe that structure? What is that thing on the left side of the screen? Any words come to mind? What is that thing we're looking at on the left side? Any ideas?
There are some protections, maybe.
Okay.
For the horse and the woman in order not to be hurt when they jump.
And a trampoline?
Maybe it's a trampoline. Trampoline. Maybe. Trampoline. Could be. I don't know. We'll find out in just a second, though. Trampoline is a good word, by the way. Now, where did the horse come from in the picture? Where did the horse actually come from?
From a trampoline.
No, I think he's saying that the pool looks like it might be a trampoline instead of a pool. But where did the horse come from? It came from above somewhere, right? So how can we describe the place that the horse came out of?
Sunrise, teacher.
Say again, please?
Sunrise. Somewhere, right?
Somewhere. Okay. Well, I would call that some kind of a platform. That structure could be called a platform, right? And perhaps, actually you're going to see a picture of it in just a second. Let's take a look at the caption. Mr. Giancarlo, can you read the caption for us?
Yes. 1945, horse diving into Steel Pier Arena. Concerns over animal well-being caused a decrease in show popularity in the second half of the 20th century. Still, the horse diving show continued into the late 1970s, before being shut down because of the decaying condition of Steel Pier.
So, Steel Pier was the venue, the name of the place. And this was a show that started, actually, let me give you a little background. You might be interested. This started in 1881 in the United States. 1881, and it lasted until about 1970. Although it made a resurgence, it came back even more recently, briefly. Here's the story. A cowboy in a Wild West show named William Doc Carver, who was an I'm just going to ask everyone, if you don't mind, if you're getting noise, just turn off your microphone, please. Thanks. Okay. William Doc Carver, an expert marksman with his own traveling Wild West show in the United States, the Wild West was the frontier, claimed that he got the idea for a diving horse show in 1881 when a horse he was riding over a partially collapsed bridge leapt into the river below and was okay, including, I guess, him on the horse, I'm not sure. Soon after, Carver developed an act where a rider and a horse would dive headlong into a pool of water from a platform 40 feet in the air. The risky feat drew huge crowds wherever it was performed. And that is the story of the diving horse. By the way, this is, I believe, in Atlantic City, but there was shows like this all over the place. But if I remember right, this took place in Atlantic City, where the casinos are now, in New Jersey. But there were more than one. Wow. Does that surprise anyone? I'll show you another picture. This is a recent picture, more recent, not that recent. This is from the 70s. And I'll show you one more. Here's a close-up where you can see the actual stadium or the arena, so hanging behind all those people watching from the other angle. Surprising?
A little bit. Never seen that before.
And here's the more surprising thing, that they tried to bring back the horse diving show in, let's see if I can find the year. I was reading about this. Let me see if I can find it. But really, I can't find it right now. Anyway, it was pretty recently. They tried to bring it back, and it was shut down almost as soon as it opened, because we don't do those kind of things anymore. No one would put up with it. Think about that. At the time, maybe people didn't really even think about the rights of the animal. It kind of gives you hope. Oh, here it is. Here it is. The pier reopened as the Trump Still Pier. That's Donald Trump, by the way. The presidential candidate Donald Trump. Still Pier opened as Trump Still Pier in 1992. And a diving mule show was opened there 2 years later in 1994, but soon ended due to concerns about the animal's well-being. Thank goodness. Okay, and those are some images from around the world. I will give you the link if you're interested in reviewing any of these images and remembering some of the things we talked about today. Okay, so I'll put the link there for you.
Okay.
And just a minute to play a little language game if you want to stick around. We're going to be doing of Word Sneak, where you have to sneak words into your partner's conversation. So if you're interested, stick around for that. And if I don't see you there, have a great weekend, everyone. Bye for now. See you soon. Bye for now.
The same to you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for the